Hi everyone, today is Monday 19 February and it's time to reflect again. Today I want to talk about something that I'm going to call the divide and conquer, and that's the kind of difficult relationship nowadays between men and women. And men and women, they're not the same. Yeah, they're equal, but they are not the same. Men have certain goals and a physique that allow them to work hard and to provide, and a woman has a certain physique and a certain character in general to nurture, right? But all of a sudden, since the 60s, we're talking about women's rights and the freedom of them to pursue whatever they want, and that within itself is not bad. I don't think that's bad, but it is bad for society as a whole. And why is that bad? Because there's competition now between men and women on the same playing field. And that playing field is, in modern Western society, that's the workplace, right? I mean, lots and lots of women, they go to educate themselves. They have higher education levels than most men. Also because the education system suits women better than men. And this leads women to, in general, earn more than men. Or so that makes them financially independent. They don't need a man anymore, so to speak. At least that's what they've been sold, or that's what they've been told. But that's not the case. I mean, when they're young, they will probably have quite a lot of attention, especially when they're pretty. But that will run out, it will run out. And you get this kind of society, especially now with the internet, that you have everything on your fingertips. There's no dedication. There is no patience to work things out. And if you don't need a man and a man don't need a woman per se, this leads to an unhealthy society. Because when you want to start a family, you better start it with somebody that is young and that you grew up together and you get to know each other for a couple of years before making this big life decision. Because a child, you have that for life. And in a normal situation, the kid will outlive you. So for the rest of your life, you're with the kid. You either stuck with it or you make the best of it. And what I see a lot of couples go through nowadays is that they both work full-time. They still have a household. They still have a kid. And they don't have enough time or energy to still spend it on each other. And they're usually tired all the time, You can't expect a woman to be a mother. You can't expect the mother to be, or a woman to be a housewife. You can't. So everything needs to be on the equal tip. Everything needs to be equal. So it is more like a business arrangement than it is a marriage. Because what is a marriage about? A marriage is about good and bad times. You go through good and bad times in life. When the good times are there, of course, it's good to have somebody with you to share it with. But the most important thing is when things are not going your way, or things happening in your family or with yourself, certain things that you go through, and that you have a life partner that stick with you and that gives you the motivation to keep on going, right? I mean, that is what it's all about, a life partner. And nowadays, a lot of people, they only want the good things. When things turn sour, when they turn bad, they just run away because they think they're worth better than that and they don't want to put the investment in. People change, when you meet someone at 21, they're different than, 10, 15 years down the line. That's normal. That goes for guys and for girls. But I see the divide and conquer game between men and women. We actually do need each other, but it's always been played like we don't. And that changes everything. That changes the society, that changes relationships and marriages. And that's why so many marriages also fail. Because a lot of these women, they are financially independent, so they could divorce you, they could still have their life going on, which of course, within itself is not bad, but you're not incentivized to stay together, to work things out, We have a whole army of people, shrinks and whatever, that try to help you, but they also earn a lot of money. I know a lot of people that are in relationship training, and while they're in training or while they're in treatment, better to say that, then they're still discussing the possibility of having a second or a third child. And I could just never understand that, because if the basis of a house is not good, then you're not going to build a house on top of it, because it's going to break, it's going to collapse. And I see a lot of people do this. And for women, they have a limited time window. You know, before you're 40, you actually need to have a kid. Otherwise, you know, there are going to be complications there. Long story short, you know, it's not what it is. Traditional roles are gone. Family and baby and all the responsibilities that come with that is not on the shoulders of a man or a woman no more. It used to be the man is the provider, the woman is the carer. Of course, people have more options now, but that also makes it less clear, right? It makes it less clear what's expected from people. And we have too many options. We have too many options, and when there are too many options, people get anxiety from it. When you when you were born, or when you you're destined to take over your family business, for instance, you don't need to think what you're gonna do later. You just know, and you grow into it. Not saying it's good, not saying it's bad, but you know what's expected from you, and you can, put yourself in that position and learn. But it's difficult out there, it's really difficult out there. And people, and especially women, when they get attention, they grow up like that as a little princess, they get all the attention from the guys when they were young, when they're in their teens and their 20s, and they think that attention will never stop. And also when they have so many options and they still have a lot of responsibilities, maybe they already have a family, maybe they're already married. It's not a big step nowadays for people to cheat on each other, because it's easier to cheat than work it out with your man or your woman, and it shows you how weak society is in general, how we're all lusting for certain things and don't want to put the effort in it, and society will fall that way. I'm sure it will fall, because the family is the cornerstone of every healthy society. And in the West, birth rates are on the decline already for many years, because people either don't have the money or they don't have the time. We're so caught up in work and all the responsibilities and paying the bills and going on holiday 2 or 3 times a year. So that's not enough money left or time left to actually talk with your partner, And also you have social media, you have girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever, in your ear. It's just a complete mess out there. And men and women are just getting played. Men are just, they don't pursue it anymore. And women, they will hit the wall at a certain time and just wake up that all the nonsense that they've been fed is not actually correct. And they will end up alone and lonely as well, There's an epidemic of loneliness here in the West, and it's because the fabric of society it's just not the same anymore, And you could listen to this and say, you're just a weak person, you're this and that, but it don't need to be like this. It just don't need to be like this. We're just being force-fed a lie. And if you really believe that and you think you're strong and independent and this and that, yeah, do you. But there's going to be a time that you're going to just wake up and feel miserable and know that it's been a lie, and you rather would have had a family by now and do some other things. There's more to life than just work and a degree and certifications or whatnot. It's good if you like it, but that's not what life is about. And you can only know that when you run out of options or you get older. Men and women are being played against each other. Divide and conquer. Who's winning? I'm not sure, but that's just the perfect ingredient for the downfall of this society as far as I'm concerned. And on that note, we're gonna close off this podcast. It's just my thoughts, and I see it all the time. I see it in commercials, I see it in movies. It's everywhere, They try to put something in your head, and it's just sad, You see where we are as a society. You see all the problems. You see all the relationships and marriages failing. There must be a reason for that. People are not willing to put the effort in it no more. And people are independent from each other. So it's so easy to leave somebody else and just keep on living and just do you. Be a little narcissistic creature on this world and only live for yourself. Even though if you have kids. I'm kind of disgusted by that. But that's the way what we're doing now. And everybody sees it and nobody dares to say anything about it. And before you know it, it's normalized. But in my world, it will never be normal. It's just disgusting. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Have a great week.